Welcome to the KBL Walk and Talk. So this week I want to talk about the carbon passports. So there was a report the other day from Intrepid Travel, basically talking about carbon passports. So they're proposing a carbon passport to save the tourism industry, and they think it should be implemented if it wishes to survive, basically. So yeah, it's just another organisation who's trying to promote this concept. It's basically probably directed from the United Nations to limit our movements. So basically it's going to be a digital passport which you'll have to probably register online, and then they give you a yearly allowance. So it'd probably be, if you go on a plane, it deducts quite a lot of your allowance, so it could limit you to one trip a year. And if you go by train, I don't know if it still could count towards your allowance. It could do. I mean, it could start off like with electric cars and it being quite generous with not having to pay stuff, but then after you will pay in one way or another, either financially or you'll pay by your restrictions to move about. So yeah, so it'd be a yearly allowance, it'd be a limit to how much you can use. This is similar to what the plans in the Netherlands and Germany, and France has already imposed a flight ban on any flight which you can reach by rail. So any destination you can reach by rail in 2.5 hours or under, you cannot get a flight now in France if it's on the mainland, unless you're going out of the country. So yeah, because the trains in France are fast, but say if you didn't have that option for one reason or another, or whatever, or you prefer to fly, then you haven't got that option now. And yeah, it's just basically the thing they're pushing, isn't it? Climate change, and basically it's just communism. It's just presented as saving the world, but it's not saving the world. And nobody asks these people to save the world. But most of you know, I know, it's a scam. I mean, some people who's been really indoctrinated, so they're not going to get it. They think they're doing wonders for the world, and to be fair to them, I think they are trying to do good, but they don't realise what they're actually doing is imprisoning themselves by restricting their movements. Or they could potentially lead to restricting your movements by supporting it. So yeah, this report was in the Daily Record, I believe it was, and they're saying this could be a thing in 2040. So I also let you know as well, the government net zero plans on airports and air travel is basically by 2029-30 is they want to have only 3 airports if there's rail links available. So yeah, so I don't know if that exactly means like Bristol Airport, because there's a rail link being built to Heathrow, not from Bristol Airport but from Bristol to Heathrow, that can shut Bristol Airport. But they said by 2029-2030 there will be just Heathrow, Belfast and Glasgow, and then between 2030 and 2039 all UK remaining airports will close. And this isn't just going to affect air travel, but also shipping as well, because they plan to restrict shipping. 2030 to 2049 shipping will cease to exist, because it will drop down to 0. So I don't know how they're going to transport goods, because even if you have supply chains in every country, there's still going to be goods you can't get. So how are they going to deal with that, unless I think there's going to be rail links everywhere but then North America to Europe, it's not possible to have a rail link. So, and I can't see any government, any private business paying for 3,000 miles of a rail track to be built over the Atlantic Ocean. It's just not going to happen, is it? But here you go. And a lot of these things will probably be delayed and won't happen as fast as they want it to happen, because the people, when they kick up a fuss and these ideas, agendas get very unpopular, they have to slow it down, because otherwise they get the wrath of the public, and if they get the wrath of the public, then everything goes to shit. Well, you'd hope so anyway, but a lot of people are very soft now, so I don't know. So yeah, this is basically, you've got all these controls being implemented or planned to be implemented. So basically they want to restrict your travel in so many ways, and it's not just limited to air travel, shipping. Also, they want to ban the sale of petrol and diesel cars by 2030, which they cancelled and put it back before, but now they've put it back to 2030 again, thanks to the Labour government. And it's going to be 2035 for hybrid cars, so cars that are both electric and petrol or diesel, so both combinations. And so yeah, it's not much time, it's only like 5 years away from banning. So when I say banning, I mean banning the sale of cars. So combustion engine cars would be banned from being sold from 2030, and then the hybrid would be banned from being sold from 2035. Okay, so yeah. And then also I'm noticing a lot lately of all these plans of these driverless taxis and driverless buses. So we've got London trial next year for driverless taxis for Uber, and that's going to be a trial, and that'll probably get approved. I can't remember if it's 3 months or 6 months trial, but yeah, that'll get approved, and then it'll roll out to other cities. There's also driverless buses. So from what I've seen so far, Belfast has got one already, so that's going from the Titanic Quarter into the city centre, I believe. And then Cambridgeshire are getting one, Milton Keynes plans to get one, I think Suffolk, I don't know where in Suffolk, I don't know if it's Ipswich or somewhere else, but they're getting one. There's a number of cities with electric buses now, so you've got Belfast, Bristol, London, and a few other cities have got them. And we also got all these congestion charges, so, and they've got clean air zones. So, and you've got ULEZ in London, so you've got clean air zones in Bristol, Birmingham, Bath. Oxford have got a different system, but it's similar. And then, was it Portsmouth, Southampton have got a version of it. Sheffield. And in Scotland, there's 4 cities that have got the Scottish system, which has got a different name, but it's all the same thing. It's all basically to control your movements, to force you to get an electric car. Because with an electric car, if it's connected to the internet, they could override it, and they could stop you from going too far. And that's the thing, they want to control you by geofencing. So this is why they want the 15-minute cities. This is what all the new mayors are about, all the devolved areas. This is why in Lincolnshire they got a greater Lincolnshire mayor, because basically they want it to be another control centre. So they're breaking the country down into smaller areas, and then the mayor of that devolved area would be like a lord. So you lord it over you, and then try and restrict where you go in. And it's like where the West of England mayor where I was living before, and I think it was under his leadership that you had Bath get a congestion charge, and then Bristol got one because they're only like 12 miles apart. And yeah, so now you have to pay for the nose to use a car which is basically not following the requirements to use that zone. So it's basically control. No worries. Yeah, it's basically control and just a way to fleece drivers and to make it unaffordable for driving, because the more it can charge you, the less chance of you keeping your car or even getting a car in the first place, because the lessons tests are getting harder, because they don't want people driving around. They don't want you to have freedom, they don't want you moving around, they just want you in your 15-minute city. Yeah, and as we look behind me, you see the fields, see, normal fields, but they want to fill all these fields with solar panels for as far as the eye can see. They want to cover loads and thousands of acres of countryside with solar panels. And that's another thing. What they want to do is to basically get farmers to sell out, get them off the land, and then move them into the cities, cut the independence of food independence, so everybody has to import the food. So basically you have to carry on buying from the supermarket, and then cut out all the small players and just basically industrialize it, and then you'll just have to eat whatever crap they supply. But that's only if it goes that far. Also, they're going after the farmers with the inheritance tax. But wasn't there a tip someone said, if you sell your, basically, no, got that wrong. Basically, if you pass over your land and your property 7 years before you die, then you can get away with not paying loads of tax on your property and land. But yeah, they've got all these mechanisms to try and get people off the farms. It's basically going to get everyone into cities, because then you're easier to manage, you're weaker. Because when you live off the land, you're free from all the noise pollution, all the traffic, all the brainwashed people. Because that's the thing, cities, they are the worst place for indoctrinated people. Like any city, like you go to cities in England, like you've got London, very indoctrinated, Oxford, very indoctrinated, Bristol, very indoctrinated. And like people like that, they support all the agendas. So you're trying to help them, you're trying to speak out, but all they want to do is shut you down. As soon as you mention immigration, they say you're racist, you're far right. As soon as you mention that the medical intervention is bad for you, they say, oh, you're anti-vax, oh, you're against the science, the medical science, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot. Yeah, and like with other things you say about the environment, and he's saying, oh, you're happy polluting the lands and the sea. But these people who think like the government and all these organisations care about the land and the animals and that, they just have no idea. You know, all the water companies, they pump loads of sewage into the rivers, and not one government department does anything about it. They get these fines, but they're nothing. They didn't put them out of business, do they? You know, like all these water companies, they're still operating, they're still allowing millions of litres to leak out, and they're not building any new reservoirs. And then they say about the environment, and then when there's a climate change meeting, they're all flying there in private jets, but they're telling the rest of us don't fly because you're killing the planet. And then they pick on the animals, and they say the cows are producing all this CO2. CO2 is needed for life. And they told us years ago that the trees absorb the CO2. So why are we following all this nonsense? Like recycling paper, it doesn't make any sense. That tree or any tree that gets cut down is cut down already. You cannot bring it back to life, and you're using all that energy just to produce some paper. Like, it's so labor intensive. And like these windmills, wind farms, it's like the propeller blades, they can't be recycled, so they get dumped somewhere in a desert or in a forest, and they just sit there for 20 odd years, and they won't degrade. So yeah, they're scouring the countryside with that. Then a lot of them need diesel to get them going and to keep it going. It's all nonsense, it's all communism. But yeah, as soon as you try and help people, they just don't want help. They just push you away. They treat you like the enemy rather than listening to you and standing by your side. And these are just useful idiots. It's like this whole thing with the anti-white agenda. So many people get pulled into it, and they think because they've got brown skin, like the white people are out to get them. It's like, let's get facts straight. Yeah, the word slave comes from Slav, because they were slaves before. Weren't they slaves like many hundreds of years before the African slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade? And the Irish were slaves in the Caribbean before there was any black slaves brought to the Caribbean. And what about the Christian slaves? You know, the ones that were fed to the lions for fun, or the ones that were sold to Persians. You know, we never hear about that, do we? We don't hear about the slaves in Qatar building the World Cup stadiums. And like most people who work as slaves, including myself, like, the only difference is you haven't got any chains on you. But in a way, you don't have a slave master, but then your pay packet's your slave master. And I'm not saying I know better, I'm any better. I mean, I've been working for 30 odd years. I want to get out of the system. I don't like being tax cattle or a wage slave. I hate it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing hard work and doing something, because even if you're not working, if you have a business, you're still working. You clean up at home, you're not working for money, but you're still doing something. You're still working hard, like not working for a boss or for a business, but you're still doing something. But yeah, the whole system stinks. It's like when you want holiday, you got to ask permission. It's like, oh, please can I have a day off? Please can I have a week's holiday? It's like your holiday, but then you've got to check it with them, and it's got to be, oh, you can't have your time off at Christmas or January, or you need to give 30 days notice. So it's your holiday. If someone's not off those days, why can't you have it off? And like, they think they're doing you a favour, and then they act like they own you. It's just not like a rant video about work, but it's just basically, it does bug me. I mean, I want to talk about the restrictions today of movement, because we're supposed to have freedom of movement. It's one of God's laws. What do they call it? Law of the land. Your inalienable rights. And then the European Union are supposed to have freedom of movement, but then the COVID agenda, they didn't allow that. They was like, no, you're not going out unless you've got a text message or a letter from the doctor or pharmacy was that in Italy and Greece? And people keep going on about the EU. Oh, because of Brexit, our country's been destroyed, and look what we got now. We got black passports, and now we got a queue in another queue. It's like, can't you see? Get it through your thick heads. That is a bloody one world government in the making. If the world was just one country, you'd be treated like crap. You'd be treated worse than you are treated now, because there'd be so many of you. And then you become less important, because that's the thing. Bigger countries care less and less about their people rather than small countries. You know, in America, I just use America as a reference because you've got 400 plus million people, yeah? So look in America, do you get free healthcare? No, not unless you've got that Medicare and Was it Obamacare, what they had before? I don't know if that's still, I don't know too much about that now. But let's say that, yeah. But then you have other countries, small countries like, say Sweden or Switzerland, you probably get more basic cover, healthcare, and you get treated better when you land in the airport. You won't be treated just like another bit of cattle, tax cattle. Because some small countries have got a better reputation because they don't go to war. And I'm not saying, yeah, it's not the American people's fault, it is the government. Same in Russia, if they do something, it's more the government than the people. There's a lot of good people everywhere. Just want to show you the swan. I don't get stung. Look at that beauty, there's two of them. Hello. Hello. Oh, it's three. Two, four. Mum and dad and two, what do you call it? Baby swans. Yeah, this is what I like. This is what I appreciate more and more. Because I used to live in a city and I used to think, it's amazing. You've got everything. You've got shopping centres, an airport. I still like the airport bit. Because that's convenient to get away. Because it's a pain in the arse to get to the airport from here. But I don't care for the supermarkets being on every corner. I don't care for Subway and Greggs everywhere. It's like, one, it's not like really great. It's not great, is it? Because you go into a supermarket, there's so much crap food. Like I had some steaks in Lidl the other day. It wasn't my idea, but my other half said to me, oh, there's steaks in Lidl for £8.99. I got them, and then she'd done the cooking, but they weren't very good. They were so chewy. I wish we bought them from the butchers, because I know for the butchers you get decent meat. The supermarkets, they sell you watery, crappy, untasteful food. It's like fruit and veg sometimes. It's like some of the fruit is really bad in some of them, and like, yeah, the potatoes go off really quickly. Well, not go off, but they start growing. I think I need to keep them in the dark more. That's why it's good to keep them in a sack. But anyway, yeah, where was I? Yeah, it's just saying about living away from everything. It's really nice because you got that peacefulness. Like, even though I live in a small town, it's very loud where I live. For me, like, I don't like listening to deliveries and noise outside. I want to go somewhere a bit more quiet. So next time I move, I might go a bit more quiet area, because I get fed up with all the sound. And it's like at work. If there's too many people in the staff room sometimes, so I sit in a room on my own, and it's nice just having your own thoughts, and then you can think about stuff instead of having someone annoy you. And I'm not saying, yeah, there's people I get on with, and the ones I get on with I will talk to them, but there's some really irritate me, and the last thing I want to do is spend 30 minutes with them listening to loads of nonsense or annoying talking on their speaker on the phone, I mean. So yeah, there's so much crap going on in the world, it's just hard to keep up with everything. But yeah, another thing I want to touch on, if you have crypto or you have money you don't want to share with the government and you want privacy, there's a few jurisdictions. So I've seen North Turkey is not in the CRS. So the CRS is the Common Reporting System. So basically, if you have a bank account here, or say you live here and you open one in I don't know, say you open one in Spain, then the authorities here, I don't like saying authorities because they're not my authority, but basically the establishment would know that you open a bank account in Spain, and vice versa. Once you have, say, like, you're a resident in Spain, you're elsewhere, they'll probably find out. But there's jurisdictions like North Turkey, and I believe Moldova is another one, where they're not part of the CRS, and they're also not part of this CAF for crypto. So basically that's the Crypto Asset Reporting System. So that's the same thing but for crypto. So any account you have where you make transactions in all those countries, it will be tracked. So like tax wise, they know how much you've made in profits. So also Moldova and North Turkey are not part of those systems. So North Turkey, some of you will know, but just in case you don't know, it's basically on the top end of Cyprus, because there is like a war before, and there's a lot of history between Greece and Turkey, and Cypriots is a separate country, but their ethnicity is Greek. I don't know, I guess it was North Turkey both, I don't know, Turkish and Cypriot or the same, I don't know. Not looked into it, I'm not bothered about that, but just saying. Also, I think Kosovo is another interesting one, because it's not recognised as like a normal country like all the other established countries. So that's the same with North Turkey and Moldova as well, because basically we've got these conflict zones, not all conflict zones, but say like with the breakup of Yugoslavia, and then we had all these nations formed in the Balkans. So it's Serbia, Croatia, Albania, Kosovo, Bosnia Herzegovina, I think it is, and Montenegro, Slovenia, and then North Turkey is a disputed area, so there's been fighting there for a while, and they've just got their separate territory. And then Moldova, I don't know the history of Moldova, but around that area there's a bit of conflict between the various factions. It's not far from Ukraine, and then Russia is like Armenia and Azerbaijan, is it? And Georgia. There's a few disputed areas around them as well. But that's further away. Not too far away from Moldova. But Moldova basically is very similar to Romania in language, ethnicity probably. But it's a small country. So yeah, these are countries you can think about if you wanted to get out your crypto. You'd have to look at residency, but there's opportunities there to basically have bank accounts, have crypto accounts there, or cash out there. But look into that, something to keep in mind, because the world's getting smaller. Basically everything's interconnecting, and it's getting harder and harder to hide things, and harder to have privacy. Like the EU wants to ban crypto transactions that are really high, and then you got the flight rule as well, where you have to say who you're sending your crypto to. There's a number of countries following that. So yeah, it's getting harder and harder to remain private, because basically they're trying to get hold of all your money. Another thing, they've got these exit taxes as well. So if you leave California and move to another state, I think you have to pay taxes for the last 2 or 3 years. I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but basically they try and get you for the last couple of years. So you've got to be careful of that. So you need to have a strategy. So yeah, it's residencies. I mean, US citizenship, it's taxation with that as well. So I think the only way to stop that is to denounce your citizenship. And I think the next option below that, without renouncing, is Puerto Rico, I believe. But yeah, it's just so hard to go anywhere now, because everything is getting smaller in the technology world, and everything's so interconnected. And then most of these organisations are in most countries, like the CRS and the CAF are both from the OECD, so another globalist organisation, basically putting a net around the world and bringing more countries into their control system, so they can report and everything. Because it's all data collection, isn't it? It's like Facebook collects all your data, X collects all your posts and your thoughts, and then you got everything else, like use certain email accounts. That's why I try and use stuff what's outside the EU or US or the UK if I can. And it's getting harder and harder with crypto. I messed up. Basically, I changed my old number back from a SIM card I bought, and now it's gone back to the new number. So I've got to chase that up and try and get it changed again so I can get into some accounts. But it's so hard now. It's like, and I can see like this control grid being so difficult in the future. Like my phone's not working at the moment, and it's so annoying because I can't get on Telegram on one account, can't access crypto accounts because I need that phone to have the code sent to that phone so I can access Telegram on another phone. But because I can't access it, I can't get to it. And with the crypto, you need to get a text message to get inside the account, but without getting access to that number or access to the phone, it's limiting you to do certain things. And this is the system they're building, so we want to try and keep out of that system as much as we can. Like another guy, Miles Harris, it's a British guy, he's very good on the financial lessons and basically financial education. So it's more about, he talks about the history, educates you in all the new proposals of the financial system, and they're not just proposals, these are the plans. So yeah, he talks all about that. But he was saying the other day about using the dumb phone, you know, some people say stupid phone, the old brick phones, because they are good because they basically stop you being tracked as much because it's got no internet. Most of them are 2G or 3G, so it's not as easy to follow you, and it gives you a break from the Black Mirror device, so you're not staring at the screen all the time. And they're LCD screens, aren't they? Not I don't know if all the mobile phones are LED now, but they got the blue light in, which is bad for you to sleep in, bad for you in general. And all these connection systems, it's not just 5G, it's the LED lighting, it's all the smart tech, it's all connected up together so it can monitor everything you're doing and follow you about. But yeah, please like and share, follow, comment, please. Because some people watch these videos and they don't subscribe. I know it gets annoying when it keeps coming up, but you can turn the notifications off on some platforms. I mean, you probably can on all of them. So on Telegram, I just mute it so I don't get loads of notifications come up on my screen. So it's only when I go in Telegram. Also, I'm thinking about maybe stopping. Yeah, I'm thinking about stopping from putting videos on Brighton because I'm not happy. I've got 600 views and only 1 like, and it's like YouTube, I've got half of that and I've got 7 likes. It's not loads, but it makes me think, what is the point of putting videos on there if nobody appreciates them, you know, hardly. And it's another platform to load, so that's 5 platforms, so save me a bit of time as well. And I don't get much from it either. Like, I don't earn anything from it anyway, and there's no option to do that anyway. So I'm gonna stick with Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. So yeah, thank you for watching again. I better end this because I don't want it too long, because some people don't like long videos. So I'm trying to do the right thing and save people's time, because time is precious. Time is a commodity. So I'll save your time. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you if you watched to the end, and thank you if you subscribed and like. I appreciate that. You're helping me, and it helped me get to my goal of not having to work as much, and hopefully get out of work eventually, and bring you even better content and better information. Alright, thank you, take care, bye for now. Thank you for watching KBL Walk and Talk. Ciao.